And we are live. Welcome, fellow artists, to Lyricology 101. I still don't have my channel back yet. It's all right. We're going to keep it moving. Love you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. We're back with another personal breakdown with my man MK.II, or is it MK.II? I'm going to just call him MK. With his track Ctrl. Amazing work here. I love he has a very unique beat on this one, and I want you guys to be aware of that. The beat on this one is kind of, it's different. The snares hit in a very unique part of the beat, but it sounds dope. Let him do his style, let him do his flow, and you guys will hear it. This guy is butter, man. So let's keep it moving. I hope y'all doing all right, and let's get started.
Gross. MK.II.
Yeah.
Unpleasant awakenings, yet I'm still asleep. Early bird catches whatever is on my feet. Better times comprised of colours of a screen. Soundtrack to my life, the silence of a fiend.
All right, so for the flow and the rhymes, I feel like this style of rhyming, he's going to, he stunts a lot, but he's not stunning in this whole rhyming full sheets of words type of situation. I feel like his rhyming is very accurate, if I could say so. It feels like his rhymes are just placed in individual spots. We're not looking at these off of the top. I'm the illest watching the bars that I give him type of stuff. It's more so like I'm bringing a rhyme and it sits here. I'm going real well and I give fear. You know, like it sounds like it's general, but it's not. His placement seems very intentional. So yeah, asleep, my feet, a screen, a fiend, right? But he's playing off of the initial first bar is a 2-syllable rhyme, but then the end rhyme on the last 3 bars are 3-syllable rhyme. So on my feet, on a screen, of a fiend, right? And then we got the S sound bouncing around. He bends catches to sound like eh, so we get the eh. And then the eh. So the blue is the eh. So he's playing crazy with that. And then the I sound here and there. But overall, like I said, his rhymes feel very accurate. They're more accurate than anything. And then as far as the concepts I'm hearing in the bar, so unpleasant awakenings, yet I'm still asleep, right? So the unpleasant awakenings could be maybe some situations that he's experienced in his life, and it shatters him awake. You know, unpleasant awakening can be an unpleasant truth that he may have discovered, yet he's still asleep. Like he didn't wake up fully to the realization, or maybe he himself doesn't feel fully awakened, or at least to the level of awakening that he wants to be. And then the early bird line, I feel is still related to the unpleasant awakening. So early bird catches whatever is on my feet, right? So, you know, early bird catches the worm is my concept. So I feel like maybe his feet are grounded in the dirt where worms reside. So yeah, he's unpleasantly awoken, still asleep, but he's standing tall, I assume. So his feet are grounded in the dirt. Early bird catches whatever is on my feet. So I feel like that is related to that line. Better times comprised of colors on the screen. So better times comprised of colors on the screen made me think of maybe when he was younger, he watched television, or maybe he even may have played video games or something like that. Colors on the screen to me represent maybe television or games or something like that, and mostly childhood. Soundtrack to my life, the silence of a fiend, right? So the soundtrack to his life is that painful silence. The silence of a fiend to me is like maybe when a fiend makes a mistake or commits to an action that isn't good, maybe there's the silence of that guilt. So the soundtrack of his life is that guilt, which is pretty dope. I like the visual that he's painting here. So let's keep it moving.
Unpleasant awakenings, yet I'm still asleep. Early bird catches whatever is on my feet. Better times comprised of colours of a screen. Soundtrack to my life, the silence of a fiend. Eyes glued to the crosshairs of a dream. Target practice I'm missing, what could it mean? Question mark above me, footprints are all I see. My demise around the corner, yeah, he's watching me.
Yeah, I like that. This line is dope. I'm gonna explain that one in a second. So once again, like I said, his rhymes are pretty accurate. We're looking for accuracy. So of a dream, could it mean? So we got the 3-syllable flow all the way through. Same 3-syllable swing all the way through. So of a dream, could it mean? All I see watching me. That's all the 3-syllable swing. Very consistent. And then yeah, he just got the I sound bouncing around and the I sound still bouncing around. Really good. Then yeah, so eyes glued to the crosshairs of a dream. Target practice, I'm missing, what could it mean, right? So eyes glued to the crosshairs of a dream, right? He's looking through the crosshairs and he's aiming at his dream and he shoots and he misses. So he's target practicing on his dreams, but he's missing. So he's not doing a good job of achieving his dreams. That's the visual that I got out of it. So after he said target practice, I'm missing, what could it mean? The following line is question mark. So what could it mean is the question itself, but this entire couplet here is really dope. Question mark above me, me. Footprints are all I see. My demise around the corner. Yeah, he's watching me. He's talking about the snakes in his life. Now, in the bigger picture of what he's saying, he's using an allusion to the video game Metal Gear Solid, right? So when a question mark comes over the enemy's head, it shows up over their head, and he's like, whose footprints are these? And he follows the footprints, and what's waiting around the corner? Snake. So Snake takes you out. So I think he's talking about a metaphorical snake in his life, and that life is a game. So that previous line about colors on the screen could be representative of that game that he was talking about. Very fucking good. Very fucking good.
Eyes glued to the crosshairs of a dream. Target practice I'm missing. What could it mean? Question mark above me. Footprints are all I see. My demise around the corner. Yeah, he's watching me. Grey clouds from sunrise to sunset. Choke chain invisible to the undead. Selective famine and focusing on the unfed. Ultraviolet, we fabricate it in sunbeds.
All right, so another thing I want to talk about is flow that I didn't get to place in the rhyme area or the flow rhyme area. This flow that he just did is completely consistent, syllable for syllable all the way through. So, I mean, when you listen to it, everything is evenly placed. Everything is evenly placed. The sectioning of how he phrases his words, everything sounds really good. It's evenly placed. All right, so to sunset, the undead, the unfed, in sunbeds, right? I feel like that is the main end rhyme flow that he has. So the S sound is something he's going to be playing off of. We get a bunch of internals. Excuse me. We get a bunch of internals with the sound all the way through, and the sound as well. Very good, man. Very consistent. All right, so gray clouds from the sunrise. Gray clouds from sunrise to sunset. So rainy days all the time, or just drab days. The gray clouds could be representative of his emotional state or just the world that he lives in. Choke chain invisible to the undead. So I don't know what the choke chain would be in visualization tool, which is like maybe the choke chain could be a leash, maybe of his environment holding him still, or the choke chain is just something that he's wearing tight around his neck. It's invisible to the undead, so people that are living. So I'm not entirely sure what that means. Maybe the choke chain is something that's preventing him from breathing. That could connect to the gray clouds concept. All right, so selective famine and focusing on the unfed. So selective famine, so specific people are starving, and focusing on the unfed. So we're only looking at those that are starving. Ultraviolet, we fabricate in the sunbeds. So we were playing off the sun sounds as well. So gray cloud, sunrise, sunset, and then we jump all the way down and he brings it back to sunbeds. But ultraviolet rays emit from the sun, if I'm correct. Ultraviolet, we fabricate it in sunbeds. So I think he just played off of that visual as well. Very dope.
Contradiction is blinding and we ain't done yet. Excessive violence and label it as a conquest. S.O.S. the boxing on the unfed. My demise around the corner, yeah, he's watching me. Great clouds from sunrise to sunset. Choke chain invisible to the undead. Selective famine and focusing on the unfed. Ultraviolet, we fabricate it in some beds. The contradiction is blinding and we ain't done yet. Excessive violence and label it as a conquest. S.O.S. the box is left unchecked. It's not the end of the game, but have we lost yet?
All right, so he still kept that flow going as well. So I couldn't put it in this space, but essentially that same flow, he's running it completely evenly. Every bar sounds essentially the same except for the third bar. Then we go right back to it on that final bar. But anyway, so he's doing an A-B type of rhyme. So we got the A here, we got the B here, we got the A here, and we got the B here. So done yet, conquest, unchecked, lost yet, back and forth. Really dope. We got the I-ing, the contradiction is and we ain't done yet. Excessive so the is matching here with the violence and blinding. The S sound is matching with the S sound, and the A sound is everywhere as well. But like I said, he's more accurate with his rhymes. He's not really filling the bar all the way through with them. The contradiction is blinding and we ain't done yet. So the contradiction of what he said before, what he's seeing is blinding. The contradiction itself is just, you can't visualize it directly. And we ain't done yet, so we just getting started. Excessive violence and label it as a conquest. So we're seeing people getting killed on a regular and treat it as we are moving forward, as we are creating and taking more, gaining more. In reality, it's a contradiction. S.O.S, the box is left unchecked. So, I mean, nobody's asking for save our ship. So the box is left unchecked. Nobody's requesting for help. It's not the end of the game, but have we lost yet? So it's not over. We ain't done yet. That's connected to me. It's not the end of the game, but have we lost yet? And we're still going off of a game analogy as well. Really dope.
The contradiction is blinding and we ain't done yet. Excessive violence and label it as a conquest. S.O.S. the box is left unchecked. It's not the end of the game, but have we lost yet? Now will there ever be enough? Now what is love? From the ones we trust.
I didn't have much to say about the chorus, to be completely honest. Next bar, or next verse rather.
Jacked up like I'm running for top. We lost tracks, we ain't hunting the fox. We're disappearing that we sort of forgot. We're looking back like time stops, although we're running round the clock.
All right, so once again, accurate rhymes. Don't look for hibbity bibbity, like you're looking for accuracy with these rhymes. Running for the top, hunting for the fox, and then he's going to go off the ah sound all the way through, but he's going to also use internals for the ass sound. So he's going to throw at around the same part of the bar. It's in the first half of the bar all the way through. Sounds really good, and I feel like that was highly intentional. You have to listen to the flow to really catch what he was doing. So jacked up like I'm running for top. I got jacked up for the running for top concept. So jacked up to me was connected to running for top. We lost track, but we ain't hunting the fox, right? So we lost tracks, but I also feel like it's a double, right? It's we lost track and then we lost tracks because we're following, trying to hunt something, right? So we lost tracks, we ain't hunting the fox. So the visual is lost tracks, but it's not connected to hunting a fox. But if you were to be following, or if you were hunting for a fox, you'd have to follow the tracks. A disappearing act, we sort of forgot, right? As far as the disappearing act is just like being here and being gone, right? We looking back like time stops, although we're running around the clock. So we're running around the clock and the clock doesn't stop, so we're always going. But we're looking back like time stops, even though you can't stop time, right? So I love that. I love the visual. Very smooth.
Jacked up like I'm running for top. We lost tracks, we ain't hunting the fox. We're disappearing that we sort of forgot. We're looking back like time stops, although we're running round the clock. Start as we mean to go on. The pin drop, start a gun, and the trigger is worn. A weak spot, competition like never before. You'd think not, but the challenges are settling scores. A sheep flock.
Sheep flock. All right, so yeah. Once again, this flow is dope as well. This is one of those. He does this very consistent. How do I say this without sounding ridiculous? He brackets all of his bars in the throughout this track. Almost down to the syllable. Like they're linked to, if the first bar is 10 syllables, most likely the third bar will be 10 syllables. The second bar might be 14 syllables, and the fourth bar will be 14 syllables. So there's still this consistency that I hear with his flow. But as far as the rhymes, pin drops, weak spot, think not, sheep flock. Pin drops does not rhyme with weak or think or sheep, but the flow is consistent, right? So I feel like everything he did was for that flow. Pin drops, weak spot, think not, sheep flock. So I just highlighted the flow. And then the internal me to go, trigger is worn. Oh yeah, me to go on, trigger is worn, never before, settling scores, right? Once again, this first bar does not rhyme with the remaining bars, but the flow is syllabally matched. It's very consistent. So me to go on, 1, 2, 3, 4, trigger is worn, 1, 2, 3, 4, never before, 1, 2, 3, 4, settling scores, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good, very consistent. All right, so start as we mean to go on the pin drop. Oh, start as we mean to go on the pin drops, right? So I got the pin drop of being like breaking a silence, but start as we mean to go on the pin drop, starter gun, and the trigger is worn a weak spot. So starting a race is what I got as well. So we got two visuals of a start happening. But I got a start from silence and then the starter gun being a loud sound to get you guys moving. So starter gun and the trigger is worn a weak spot. So to me, the trigger is worn because you've been using it. Competition like never before, you think not. So once again, I feel like it's in relation to that race. So competition like never before, you think not, but the challengers are settling scores, the sheep flock. So I think selling scores to sheep flock is like flocks of sheep, right? They're selling their scores for nobody. Or I mean, when people relate sheep to people that are mindless, that's essentially the idea. So his challengers are selling scores with the sheep flock. And I think he doesn't feel like his competition is really worth it. That's the visual I got, though. I'm not entirely sure.
I guess it's hard for sworn. The pin drop, start a gun, and the trigger is worn a weak spot. Competition like never before, you think not, but the challenges are settling scores, a sheep flock. I guess it's hard for some to settle into a simulated pattern, but there's more to it that matters. Employing actors that are friendly and dapper, that would blabber to scale ladders because they want to be the gaffer.
All right, so the at us scheme goes through crazy on this one. Nothing really too ridiculous, but pattern matters. Actors that are friendly and dapper, that will blabber to scale ladders because they want to be the gaffer, right? So really good with the play. Pretty consistent. I guess it's hard for some to settle into a simulated pattern, but there's more to it that matters. So the simulated pattern to me, once again, I just go into a game. The simulator pattern, when you play a game, you're in a simulated pattern. That's what I visualize. So I guess it's hard for some to settle into a simulated pattern, but there's more to it that matters. And then also the simulated pattern in connection to the following line is a simulated pattern could be a film, right? Something that is fake, but is produced in front of your very eyes, right? So employing actors that are friendly and dapper that would blabber to scale ladders because they want to be the gaffer. So yeah, employing actors, people that are not real, that are acting friendly and like and cool with you, but they would literally tell or snitch on you or talk about you just to scale the ladder and climb higher because they want to be the best, right? So yeah, that simulated pattern is produced in this following line. Really good shit, man.
I guess it's hard for some to settle into a simulated pattern, but there's more to it that matters. Employing actors that are friendly and dapper, that would blabber the scale ladders cause they wanna be the gaffer. We're from the UK, the home of the shitty weather. Whether we waiting for it to get better, we'll end up wherever. The letters are written up with the reddest, the headers, and the papers are cutting deep like propellers for storytellers.
The sound, so we're going off the sound as well. Weather, better, end up, weather, letters, redders, headers, propellers, storytellers, right? Very good, very good. So we from the UK, the home of the shitty weather, whether we waiting for it or getting better, end up weather. So we got a lot of plays off the W's as well, whether we waiting for it to get better or we'll end up weather. Yeah, home of the shitty weather, whether we waiting for it. Yeah, a lot of W's on that one. Very good, very consistent. But yeah, whether we waiting for it to get better, we'll end up wetter, right? It's always going to be raining over there. Skies are gray from sunset to sunrise, or sunrise to sunset, remember? But the letters are written up with the reddest of headers. So to me, the reddest of headers, I was thinking of like, you know, you can see it. You can't miss what's being said. So, but the letters are written up with the reddest of headers. And that's the first thing you see is the header, right? And the papers are cutting deep like propellers from storytellers. So I don't know, this sound like a forced rhyme to me, but the papers are cutting deep, right? So they got so many papers coming through that they're just shooting them off that fast like propellers from storytellers, which would get you cut, right? If you have some paper spinning like a propeller, it would cut you. So the reddest of headers also could be a relation or a visual to blood, but I'm not entirely sure about that one. No stretching.
We're from the UK, the home of the shitty weather. Whether we waiting for it to get better, we'll end up wherever. The letters are written up with the reddest of headers, and the papers are cutting deep like propellers for storytellers, yeah. Now will there ever be enough?
Oh, I just got it. The papers. All right. So yeah, the papers like the newspapers, right? All right. Yeah, that makes more sense. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
Misled to confide in the mystery, like religion was something different from history. Written scripts depicting the picture vivid, a system that envisions a mission borderlining wizardry.
All right, so mystery, history, wizardry, right? And then everything around it is a play off the it sound. Religion, a different written scripts depicting the picture of vivid, the system that envisions a vision. Yeah. So a lot of it sounds great plays, sounds really dope. So misled to confide in a mystery, like religion was something different from history. All right, so I think, okay, he said he was misled to look deeper beyond religion, maybe. That's what I'm looking at. So misled to confide in a mystery, like religion was something different from history, like religion didn't exist, or at least that's what my visual came in as. Written scripts depicting a picture vivid, right? And I still think he's talking about religion in some context, but I think the mystery itself is to expand past religion, but he felt like he was misled because he strayed away from his religion, but that's what my perception looks like, or at least what I'm seeing. Written scripts depicting a picture vivid, a system that envisions a mission, borderline, and wizardry, right? So a system that envisions a mission, borderline and wizardry. I was thinking maybe just, you know, evil people doing things beyond our understanding, evil wizards or something like that. I mean, you could just depict somebody in power, you know, using their power to fuck with people. That's what I got visually. But yeah.
Misled to confide in the mystery, like religion was something different from history. Written scripts depicting the picture vivid, a system that envisions a mission borderlining wizardry. So defiant to tackle the real cause, with no remorse, returning bodies from war. Hungry, just one less mouth to feed, we exceed in greed, Oliver twisting it up for more.
Let's go. All right, so he's just going off the ah sound, cause, remorse, war, and then the e sound, and then back to the ah sound. So he stunts for a little bit. The end rhyme is in the first couplet. He ditches that end rhyme for the third bar, and then he comes back to that same end rhyme on the fourth. So really good stunt accuracy. So defiant to tackle the real cause. So I don't know if the individuals that he was just talking about, the wizardry guys, so defiant to tackle a real cause, like they don't really want to take care of what's really going on. No remorse, returning bodies from war, right? So you're sending people home dead, or, you know, the subject of war is really hardcore, but with no remorse, returning bodies from war, like all these young people being killed, all these older people being killed for the cause of a war that we don't need to have. You know the picture. Hungry, just one less mouth to feed because we just, you know, you're sending a body home. So that's one less person here, right? Hungry, just one less mouth to feed. We exceed, agreed. Oliver twisting it up for more. So I don't know if Oliver twisting, like if he was going all of us in some kind of bend, but he hasn't used any bends like that for this entire song. So I'm not going to apply that. So we exceed, agreed. Oliver twisting it up for more. So I just feel like he's just relating to the story. So yeah, let's run it.
So defiant to tackle the real cause. With no remorse, returning bodies from war. Hungry, just one less mouth to feed. We exceed in greed, Oliver twisting it up for more. So there's plant the news, the headlines, the feed, the views, anything to satisfy our worth. And exploit the hurt, the damage, the famished, the ones who barely manage whatever is undeserved.
Let's go. All right, so once again, the first bar, he's just gonna go off the ooh sound. And then he's gonna go back to the earth sound, right? And that's actually his in rhyme. The sound is his in rhyme. So it's like blah 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 in rhyme. Blah 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 in rhyme. So that's the cadence and the rhythm that he came up with for this one. So focus on the in rhymes with the sound, and then everything else is just internals, right? Damage, famish, manage, and then a bunch of sounds. Really good. So let's plant the news, the headline. Oh yeah, let's plant the news, the headlines, the feed, the views, anything that satisfy our worth. So once again, internet issue, people just want attention. So let's plant the news. I feel like that's what he was saying. Plant the news like it's not real. Plant the news, the headlines, the feeds, the views, anything to satisfy our worth, right? And then exploit the hurt, the damage, the famish. So anything to satisfy our worth and to make anybody less worthy feel the pain. So and exploit the hurt, the damage, the famished. So the hurt, the ones that are in pain, the damaged that don't, that are fucked up by the life conditions, the famished, those that are starving in the street. So he's talking about lower poverty living people, the ones who barely manage whatever is undeserved. So he's just saying it's a fucked up game for those that ain't winning.
Let's plant the news, the headlines, the feed, the views, anything to satisfy our worth. And exploit the hurt, the damage, the famished, the ones who barely manage whatever is undeserved. And sow the seeds in the dirt of malice, anger, whatever doesn't matter, we just hoping that it pours. And climb a tree with a poisonous root, shaped to loosen the fruit and watch them eat it off the floor. Control.
All right, so yeah. Once again, he's gonna go off the sound, or so he's gonna just words rhyme, words rhyme. Same concept from the last 4 bars. He's just doing it again. A bunch of internals as well. So malice, and he says these words are bent really well. So malice, anger, mata, they all match. And then we got the e sound played around and the sound here and there. So really good, really good. And then what I did here is, this whole last quatrain is dedicated to the same subject. I believe this was all into the tree concept. Sow the seeds in the dirt of malice and anger. Whatever doesn't matter. We just hoping that it pours, that it rains, so that the seed could grow and climb a tree. So maybe not climb a tree physically, but a tree is produced and it climbs up, right? So and climb a tree with a poisonous roof, shake to loosen the fruit and watch them eat it off the floor. So the seeds are planted I got it. So the seeds are planted into those that are struggling, right? The dirt could be represented by those that are struggling at the bottom, right? And we're planting seeds in that. And whatever doesn't, and then you're hoping that it pours, that it rains, right? The pours could be you raining as an individual, that could be that seed, and you rain and you cause your thing to grow, or the pours that hopefully a natural rain will come and lift us up out of this, and then climb a tree with a poisonous root. The poisonous root is because it is in the dirt of malice and anger. So and climb a tree with a poisonous root, shake to loosen the fruit and watch them eat it off the floor, right? So just eat from that fruit that is essentially affiliated with the dirt and malice and anger. Very unusual connection, but it makes sense to me. So that fruit would be filled with malice and anger, if I'm correct. So yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's run it back.
Of malice, anger, whatever doesn't matter, we just hoping that it pours. And climb a tree with a poisonous root, shaped to loosen the fruit and watch them eat it off the floor. Control. 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 Control.
Let's go. All right, yeah. So that was Control by MK.II. Incredible work, man. Really good. I like his idea of operating with his style. I feel like he focused more on the visual. A lot of people look for rhyme schemes all the time. It's not the only thing that rap is. So I feel like he was very accurate with his rhymes. I like how he's painting his visuals and his image. I think my favorite line was the solid snake line, which is so subliminal, so subtle, and it worked really well. So I really like that. As far as the entire song, really dope, really good shit, man. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are interested in getting your song broken down in a similar fashion, feel free to hit me up at lyricology101mail@gmail.com. You got to add the mail. If not, you can hit me up at lyricology101 at Instagram, lyricology101 at TikTok, lyricology tips at Twitter, and just let me know what you want to do. If you want your song broken down, let me know. I'm going to send you a couple of options of what we're doing here, and I'm going to send you the PayPal link, and then we'll have your song up as soon as possible. We're knocking out all the songs that we've received back to back to back. So if you guys are interested, hit me up as soon as possible, and we can get it done for you as soon as possible. We love you guys. We're going to keep it moving. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you like what we're doing here at Lyricology 101, please share. It's been Lyricology 101. I'm Andre Gaynor. And don't forget, we're the artists. Peace.